And let's get started. Hello, Miss Juju.
I
Judith.
love it. Miss Juju, I love to be called Juju.
I know, I saw that. I saw where you responded.
That's Lindsay, the little girl that I kept.
Right.
She's the one who gave me that name. She couldn't say Judy, so she said Juju.
Bring your head
Right
up. Oh,
down.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Little. No, the other way.
Okay.
We want to see more of your. There you go.
See, I can't. No, wait a minute. I can get rid of this stupid thing. Okay, I can see. Crazy.
So we have some stuff to catch up on. Last time we talked, you were on, what did they call it? You're in the,
Probation,
yeah, you were on
suspension.
probation. You were in the penalty
I
box.
was I was in lockdown.
Well, she was in lockdown. And now it's
That's the equivalent, 30 days lockdown.
truth. Since then, you've returned to the jail. So, where do you want to start today? Filling us in.
Well, the last time we recorded, I think I was scheduled to go in the next day.
Okay.
And I think, but I can't remember
I don't
everything. But
either.
I started I started back going in on Thursday nights with a group of women, uh, and did that for a while, and then maybe three times, and then our session where you helped me
Hmm.
visualize going down the hall, down the side hall with you and Jesus, it 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 was it changed everything. You know,
Wow.
it changed everything. And so that night, I think this is true. That night when I said I was going in the next night was a Thursday night,
Hmm.
and that no, no, that's not right because when I told you that I was going in for my first Friday by myself, which went very well. I do not I don't worry about even if I run into that guy, which I don't think he works the days. They changed the days that I go in. I
Hmm.
told you that he the the man over my ministry
Hmm.
who works at the jail changed my wanted me to come in on Thursday nights or Friday nights because he would be there
Oh, yeah.
and his assistant would be there and they could assist me with any problem I might have. So I am going in on Thursday, Friday nights, and I if I go in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can only visit one cell block.
Oh,
But if you go in on Thursday and Friday,
mm,
you can go into multiple cell
right.
blocks.
Wow.
What? So I want to go into multiple cell blocks. So after Thursday's already covered, and so Friday is not a day I would choose to go in, but it's my only choice.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I thought it would be knock on wood. Somebody chewed me out. Yes, that would yes. Somebody chewed me out the other day for saying knocking on wood.
Oh, boy. Oh, dear.
I
What's,
was
never mind.
just kidding, just kidding. So I thought it would be more chaotic, but it's equal chaotic to Thursday night, Friday night. Because really Friday nights is embedded in our brains, no matter where you are. It's
I know.
but
Yeah.
which is very strange, I think. But anyway, it's been good. Uh, it's been good.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear it. So I wanted to just roll back a couple of the when you talked about the imaginary exercise that we did. So I would encourage anybody to go back to our former one, the one right before this, and watch that. And I just want to point out that the imagination is a gift from God as well. It's part of our human experience. We use it all the time for everything that we do. We're using our imagination. You have to use your imagination to understand the Bible when you're imagining David and Goliath. You're imagining Balaam's donkey talking. You're imagining the walls tumbling down. You're imagining, you have to, I mean, words, you have to visualize what's happening. And so it's just a normal part of our life, but we don't really consider how God can meet us in our imagination as well and use our imagination to create healing moments. And so Judy walked with Jesus and I down the corridor of the jail in her imagination, and she felt a lot more free after that, just recognizing she wasn't alone. And I use that a lot in my coaching, and I just want to point it out because I am amazed at how many adults our age have never even considered this. And I mean, I hadn't either until 15 years ago or whatever. But when God kind of showed up to me in a vision, which I didn't know how to call it or name it, but it was just imaginative. He took me in my imagination to different images that really brought a lot of healing in my life. And so just want to encourage people to open their mind up to that possibility because it's something that we haven't explored in our uh, spiritual cultures.
True, true. And from my side, I will say it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a little, I don't know,
Woo
it's a
woo.
little scary. It's a little scary, but I'm usually hadn't ever been too afraid of stuff until
Yeah. I
Goliath
know
screamed at
you're
me.
so open to stepping into that, and
Right,
it
right.
feels
So,
woo woo, right? Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try it because, why not? You know, and it was very helpful. Do you have it written down? Think, I think I said Jesus said, "I believe in you." Do
Yeah.
you have it written down? You don't have it.
I,
I'm almost positive he
well, I
said,
might, but I don't know where my notes are.
"Okay, I believe in you." So I have a
Oh wow, that's great.
different take on that.
Oh, I believe.
But
What are you, that old carnal and devilish Santa on your shirt?
I do believe in Santa Claus, but I'm glad that Jesus
Picture,
believes in
picture,
him. He believes, huh?
picture,
Oh,
picture.
come down.
There you go.
Okay. Anyway, uh, I told the inmates that they love that. You know,
Good.
they identified with that and accepted it very easily. That he said to me, "I believe in you." So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So you're back at it. And how's it going? What do you want to share today?
um, still feel a little not quite in sync.
Mhm.
Uh,
That mean like apprehension, a little apprehension each time you go, or what does that mean?
probably, and I have to be real. I know I say this all the time. I have to be real careful here, but I know I'm still under the microscope,
Right.
so I'm aware of that, but I need to more and more let that go.
Hmm.
But I know that I'm under the microscope.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. You are.
I had I had last
Sorry.
weekend I had asked permission to be able to do something, and it was turned down by jail. So
Hmm. Yeah.
something other people I know do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to do with recovery methods, actions,
Hmm.
and other people who go in as I do, I know participate in
Hmm.
recovery things, but I was told it was not a good idea for me.
Yeah.
Broke
Yeah.
my heart.
I'm sorry.
Broke my heart. Broke my heart.
Yeah.
But God just got so cool.
Hmm.
You know, and I, you know this,
Hmm.
but when your heart's affected, it's really hard. But he worked out a better plan.
Hmm.
And I really believe he stopped what I was going to do in order to offer a girl a much better alternative.
Mm, good.
So, someone told me somebody to contact. It was a pastor of a church
Mm-hmm.
near me who has it's they nickname it the Recovery Church. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. And so when the girl gave me his telephone number, I never thought I'd talk to the pastor,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And he answered. She must have given me his cell number, and he answered, and we had a great talk. And
Mm-hmm.
his heart is for people who have been in addiction, and they have a great ministry for that. And he arranged for somebody to pick the girl up and
Mm-hmm.
take her to church. And when he sent me the text to tell me that, he even gave me the woman's name who will be picking her up. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, "We will take good care of her."
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Mm-hmm. Oh, deep needs there.
They go way beyond a jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they begin when they walk out the front door.
They begin before they come in the front door too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
being in there,
that's not no
it's a
rehab.
catch 22.
Right.
Being in jail is a catch 22. They're safe, they're warm or cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're given food, they're not threatened by the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but all of them are scratching at the walls to get out again. Of course, I understand that because they're
Mm-hmm.
in prison. Worst thing, one of the worst things about it is those stinky orange suits.
They're pretty
I
bad.
wouldn't. Oh, I just orange is not my color. I
Mhm.
could not. Mm. Anyway, it goes way beyond. It goes way beyond being in concrete
Right.
walls. You know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad. What are you working through with them now?
Uh, so I took a little trying to think of what I taught the first time I went in. I think I taught a psalm, the one where when you go through the waters, the fire won't
Mm-hmm.
consume you. I think that's what I did. I can't remember. And then this last time, we went through some uh, verses that dealt with giving thanks, Thanksgiving, since it was right before Thanksgiving, and gave them time to share. And one of the women said that she had a praise, she had a praise, she had a praise, and so she said that her daughter had not been answering her calls, receiving her calls, probably for years. I don't know how long.
Mm-hmm.
And Thanksgiving Day, the girl answered the phone.
Wow.
And from Thanksgiving Day, I was there Friday after Thanksgiving. And she said, and she keeps answering the phone when I call.
Oh,
I know.
right.
When and that happens a lot, and I understand the family members. You
Mm-hmm.
get to a point where sometimes you have to pull back
Mm-hmm.
because people with addiction can use
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of manipulation and
Right.
whatever, and you get to many times get to a point where you can't trust them, and for your own mental health, many times family members have to pull back. And but the growth that I've seen in this woman who's in the jail now is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously is a believer. I have no doubt she's a believer. And I truly deeply hope she carries out the truth that she now knows when she goes out those doors,
Mm-hmm.
when she's released.
Mm.
But it's been amazing to just watch her grow while she's been in the jail because she's intentionally reading her Bible,
Right.
studying. Um, and that first time, that this same night when I went in, there was a young woman sitting right to my first seat right here,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "I got saved this week." And I said, "For real?" And I said, "Was it when the group came in last night, Thursday night?" She said, "Oh no, it was her and her." And she pointed to inmates.
Oh, yay.
That's we go in,
Mm-hmm.
try to teach them and equip them
Mm,
to share what God's done in their lives. And that there's no doubt in my mind that girl trusted Christ.
mm, mm.
So,
Wow.
and the first thing she said was, "Can you give me a Bible?"
Oh.
And they have that group. This is in the big cell block
Mm-hmm.
too. They have Bible studies together.
Mm.
So that's how they were in a Bible study together
Wow.
when that
Wow.
girl surrendered.
Mm. That's so cute. Love it.
I know, I know.
Mm.
I got I got saved last night. I don't know if that's how she worded it. I can't remember how she
Right.
worded it. But it
Right.
was so, and I was just like, what? Yeah. And it
Mm.
was, and I know this people might not understand this, but I'm glad it was inmates sharing with her versus a group coming in because
Mm.
that means
Right.
they're being discipled and
Right.
they're learning how to. And the big thing, and you'll like this, the big thing that wins over people like that in a jail is somebody sitting in there telling them, "This is the way my life was. And now
Mhm.
with Jesus, man,
Right.
this is what he's doing for
Right.
me."
Personal
And that,
story.
and
Mm.
that's what we want. That's what I want. That's my goal. That's
Sure.
what I want.
Sure. Of course. Right. To duplicate yourself,
Right.
multiply, right?
Absolutely. So tomorrow night, I'll go to Luke and read Mary when the angel comes to her, and then the next week, because it's on Friday, we have the Christmas party, and then the next week I'll do when the angel comes to Joseph, because that's really cool, and he is the forgotten hero in the story of Jesus. Joseph is. And then I'll have to, on the day after Christmas, uh, I want to take them to when the angels come to the shepherds and go to the.
Mm.
So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I forgot in my thinking, I wasn't thinking, I forgot that the party's on the night that I go in, so I can't
Oh.
teach them that night. So
Mm.
that's the reason I'll have to do it on the 26th, but
Yeah.
days and numbers don't matter to
No,
them.
no.
So,
Oh, I was going to ask you if they were going to do the Christmas party, so you already answered that. So that's great. Yeah, I love that.
yes.
I have been listening to Mary, did you know? Like I'm listening to it, it's such a great song, right?
Love it.
Look at you.
Oh, God.
But
Love it.
I've been just playing all the different versions of it on YouTube, just because but here's a thought that I had, because I love the line. Did you know when you kiss your little baby?
Yes, that's my favorite.
No,
That's my favorite
of
line.
course it is.
When you kissed his face, you kissed the
Kissing the
face of
face of God.
God.
Okay, but hold on a minute. This gets a little better, I think, because I'm like, that's true about any baby.
For real.
Because
For
we're
real.
all made in the image of
For
God.
real. For real.
And we are all representatives of Him, whether we're believers or not. We are little.
We're image
image bearers.
bearers.
And so, I mean, this year is the year I'm like, oh, wait, that's true when I kiss my baby.
Right, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
kind of, I mean, I got chills just thinking about
Yeah,
it, but
yeah,
really, I want to kind of elevate our reverence for humanity.
absolutely.
This masterpiece that God has
Right,
created in each individual. Each
right,
individual is a reflection of God, is a face of God in some way. And so
absolutely.
that's powerful.
Even in a jail cell,
Even in a jail cell.
especially in a jail cell.
Right, right.
And if I can convey that to them, it can change their lives.
Yes.
It can
I think
change their lives.
I think I put this on Facebook. It's a little quote by Peter Enns, loving others is the closest we get to seeing God.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
And I just love that so much because somebody was talking to me recently, I don't, I can't see him. I don't know where he is. I'm like, he's all around. Look at every human. He's in the face of every human. It's his fingerprint, his signature.
That's what he tells us that.
And so if you start looking at humans that way, you start looking for the God glory in them, the image bearing. I was just down in Florida with my sister, and she has a lot of friends who are not believers, like Buddhists, different types of faith. And I was talking to
Right,
one lady, but one lady who has created all of these magic potions. She spent years in research creating these things that target cancer and other things, and she's having great success. I was talking to her and she says, I know this sounds weird. She says, but I just feel like the universe is giving me downloads, on this stuff. And I'm like, now the spiritual culture I was in would say, oh, that's all demonic, stay away from it. But I don't think so. I think it's her giftings. I think it's her reflection as a healer.
right,
You don't have to be a believer to have this,
right.
right? So I just took note of that, that she's got a ministry of healing through the blends of herbs and all that she
Right,
does,
right, right,
that's operating, and she's actually I would say she's operating in her God glory, whether she's giving him the glory for it or
right,
not.
exactly.
He's
Right,
endowed her with that
right,
ability.
right,
And if you start looking around like that, it strikes some awe in you, about how God is and how he operates and who he operates through.
right.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And I rubbed shoulders with a number of people that way who were just kind and gracious. Like one was a Buddhist, and just sweet, good people, and
Hmm.
old cultures would have said, stay away, be careful, and all that. I'm like, I'm still brushing up against image bearers.
Right,
And
right,
and there's a lot to learn and to love about that.
right.
Just inserting things that were never taught me or really um, pointed out, or it just never was a thing. I mean, it was through my own studies, in doing that curriculum that I really got into this whole image bearing thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to go back to your roots. Where does it start? And all of our roots, everything starts in the beginning, in the creation. And we're the only creatures made in his image. And that's where we get reverence and honor for the humanity. Right.
Right, right.
And that should, now I don't want to get on any kind of political thing, but that should factor into how we consider uh, current events with immigrants and that kind of stuff too.
Right.
That's enough to say about all that, but
Absolutely. I don't even want to. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you.
But everybody in there is a beautiful soul, and I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of those overseeing the jail have gotten hardened and crusty and cynical towards these humans. Like they're not humans anymore, but they are, right? And that's where we come back to your song. I see you. You go in and
Mm,
you see them as beautiful creations,
I do.
right?
I
And
do.
that's what the gospel does.
As what was that? It was a it was a lady, Christian speaker. Yeah, way back. Anyway, she lost my train of thought. Say that again, what you just said.
What did I just say? We were talking about image bearing.
Maybe it'll come back.
Yeah.
Man, as a Christian speaker, and I'm fixing to get off on a tangent, but I hope I won't be there long. And I still can't remember what I was going to say about her, but I went to hear her speak, and she, as a believer, tried to commit suicide.
Mm,
And I forgot, can't remember. She must have taken something, and it
mm,
caused her kidneys to shut down. She
mm.
was just in her 30s or 40s, and it
Huh.
was on a Thanksgiving or Christmas, and her
Mm.
family, her husband and kids went somewhere, and then they came back, and she was on the floor, and her husband later asked her, "Well, what did you think? We were just going to step over you and go eat Thanksgiving dinner?" You know, she was real funny.
Oh.
Yeah, God, can't remember. She had something very pointed I wanted to give.
Mm,
Anyway, um, so it's been real powerful and encouraging that my devotions
mm,
during this time have
mm.
been so
Spot on.
pointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me read.
Okay.
Here's this morning, and I read it in a devotion, but I'm reading through the Bible right now with a different. This guy's order is different. So
Mm,
on uh, November the 6th, 25, I read this, and I've got written beside it jail exclamation point,
mm.
and it's Jeremiah. And I'll start with it's chapter 1, verse 4. Yeah, okay. Lord gave me this message. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. See right there, he all of us, he knew us
Mm-hmm.
when he formed us in
Right.
our mother's womb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sovereign God, I said, I can't speak for you. I'm too young. That's what he said. I can't do that. Remind me, connect this to my teaching when I get through with
Okay.
this. And the Lord replied, don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I read that this morning, and it just hit me in the
Mm,
you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you,
mm,
because I think I said it before and I will say it again. I never wanted to step foot in the jail.
mm, mm.
And listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid of the people, for I will be with you and will protect you. That's when, like, he was walking down the hall with me.
Mm-hmm.
I, the Lord, have spoken. Then the Lord reached out and touched my mouth and said, look, I have put my words in your mouth. Today I appoint you to stand up. And he goes on to give him specifics about who he's going to speak to.
Mm.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. Yeah, that's perfect.
For you must go wherever I send you and say
Mhm.
whatever I tell you. And don't be afraid of the evil.
Mhm.
For I will be with you and will protect you. I think it's very interesting
Mm.
that I had a fear of, that I never had a fear of inmates.
Mm.
And I've never had to worry about that. I mean, I'm cautious. I
Right.
don't go in stupid, but it's not the inmates
Mm.
that caused me to be fearful. I think I don't know. Wow. Are you kidding me?
Right. Right.
Wow.
You've always been for the down and outers. You've always been for those that are on the peripheral.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
That's just, I can't help that.
No.
It's just here. I can't help it.
Right.
I've been out like that.
So you were asking, like, how did that what did you say the part I'm too young? Is that what you said? How does it tie into the jail, or was the whole passage about how it ties into the jail?
Okay, about teaching. Okay.
Yeah.
It my junior year of high school, I had my dad had died already.
Hmm.
My year of high school, I had a history teacher who was fresh out of college.
Hmm.
God used her to get me in the school situation
Right.
through every day,
Right.
every day. And sitting in her class is when I decided I wanted to be a teacher.
Hmm.
Okay. In her very class, I would take a zero rather than stand up in front of the class and give current event. I hated I hated being before people. And so what I would do, we had to do it in music class too. I remember that. And I couldn't wiggle out of that. So I would be a comedian doing whatever I did. Whatever I had to talk on, I was, I had everybody in there laughing. I probably didn't get a good grade, but that's how I got through it. So, okay. So in my junior year, I decided yeah, I want to be a teacher. And then I know I've told this story before,
Mhm.
but when I got into college, yeah, I told this. This was when we were talking about the wall. So I
Mhm.
get into college and I sign up. Yeah, I want to be a teacher. And so they put you with an advisor
Mhm.
from education.
Mhm.
And so, and back then you had to take 2 years of PE, which I think should come back,
Mhm.
not because I was a PE teacher, but because you need that release of
Right.
being active and everything. So,
Mhm.
and as I've told this story before, I was walking down the hall. This is when my dad had died. I didn't let anybody close to me. My belief was if you let anybody close to you, they're going to die.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring any new people in.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was walking down the hall in the gym before I went into the
Mhm.
gym proper, and Miss Washburn, my PE teacher, walked up to me, put her arm around me, and said, "So how's your day going?" I don't know how that melted some stuff, and then I would go to her and talk to her and
Mhm.
confide in her, and so again, that man, I really want to be a teacher, and
Mm.
I want to be like Mona Washburn.
Right. Right.
That's the kind of teacher, not necessarily teaching PE because I didn't have PE teaching PE in my mind, but I didn't. So so then my sophomore year, I go to my advisor to set up my schedule for first semester sophomore year. Okay. And I can remember that lady. I loved that lady. She was probably late 40s, early 50s.
Mhm,
She came across rough, but she really wasn't. She's real tender. And so she says, and okay, I'm going to set you up for speech.
mhm,
I go, no way, no, I can't take no way. And she looked up at me and she said, you want to be a teacher, right? Yes, ma'am. She said, I'm signing you up for speech. I got that, and I used to break out in red splotches when I was in front of people speaking. So a girl that went to school with me, but was in a, I was January graduate. She was a May graduate, but she was in that class, and so she started calling me Splotch. No, that's wrong. A girl in high school started calling me Splotch. So, so I'd break out in all my stuff, but give my speeches. And
mm,
at first, I wasn't, I was very uncomfortable, but I got more and more used to it. And my speech teacher, a male, took some extra interest in
mm,
me.
mm.
I can only say God. I don't
Yeah.
know why. And at that time, he said my accent messed him up because we had lived in New Orleans. I was from Birmingham, lived in New Orleans, moved to High Point, North Carolina. Then we moved back to Birmingham. And he stopped me one day and said, hey, I cannot tell. Your accent drives me crazy. Where are you from? And mother said wherever we lived, I picked up the accent. So when we were in New Orleans, I talked like the people in New Orleans. And in North Carolina, the O's, they do O's and
Yeah.
D's. So at midterm I had a C in that class and I passed with an A in speech. So I had to have that, you know. And that woman was so astute to say, "Oh yeah, I'm putting you down." And
Mm,
I think it's hilarious. Moses, it was like Moses, right?
mm, mhm,
Moses said, I can't speak.
mhm,
I can't speak.
mhm. And Jeremiah, well, he said, I'm too young.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the number
That's
one fear of
crazy.
all people, speaking in public. But I don't know why. I think I always liked it because I something I could get attention. But honestly, I realized that in high school, I could get out of a science project if I would do some kind of literary interpretation. Like I could read
Hmm.
a poem.
Right.
Let me think. Science project, read a poem. Science. I'll stand in front of
Absolutely.
people and read a poem.
Yeah. I would have done the science project because it would have freaked me out.
And that's where I kind of like, oh, so that was easy.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that kind of started me on that really. And then Toastmasters was a lot of fun, gave me a lot more.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. It's to hold an audience captive. Hmm. But there's nothing more thrilling than getting the whole audience laughing. I mean, that's just that's a real high, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
yeah.
So, yeah, so
So
that's great. So
so
he's
I can say
encouraging you.
still I'm still a little apprehensive again, and I say my reason is because I know I'm still under the microscope,
Yeah.
but I ought to just take verses like this
Hmm.
that could apply to even being under the
Right.
microscope
Right. Right.
and
True.
just say,
Right.
I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm saying what God wants me to say, and He's there with me. He'll protect me. So,
Mhm.
okay, well, I just had a breakthrough right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, years and years ago, remember when we did some theophostic prayer, and you had a picture
Oh, wow.
of a bubble? Like, weren't you in a bubble? Or was that might have been another client?
Keep on talking.
Like
That
you were
sounds
inside a bubble and it protected you. It was just you were encased and
like
that wasn't
that's
you.
not me. Mm-mm.
Okay, it was somebody else. Well,
I wish I
that'd be
had
so
had
fun.
that, but I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Well, you can ask for one.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Meet me in my imagination with a bubble around me. Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned the wall a second ago. I had just wrote down on this piece of paper the wall. I had met with a group yesterday and did some story work, and one of the girls that brought a story, probably one of the most violent stories I've ever heard. And but she would not let me or anyone in the group get anywhere near her younger self. She had this stance of, I've already gotten my healing, I've spent time with the therapist, but I just was thinking about the wall that we read through, which was great. If anybody hasn't gone through that series, it's on YouTube under Miss Judy Cares. But
Changed my life.
I just remember thinking there was no window in that wall. There was no crack in that wall. And what was plastered on the wall, here's the point, is I've got my healing. God is good. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Don't look backwards, just look forward. Your past doesn't define you. All of these are true things. All of these are good things. But those are the bricks in which she's built this fortress. And
Exactly.
because she's using those good phrases,
Right.
it looks good. It looks like
Right.
this wall is a beautiful wall,
Right.
but she's hiding behind that wall. It's really thick. And I'm like, I finally just, I could feel the tension. So I just, kept trying to find little cracks. There weren't any. And then, everyone's like, well, you're such an inspiration. Because, oh, the other bricklets, I've forgiven everybody, who's harmed me and all that. And so it looks so holy, but it's quite the opposite. But God said, yeah, that was you not too long ago. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I recognized it because I was it. Well, we talked about that when we were reading through the wall, right? I layered my wall with spiritual bricks, with, the right quotes, the right mentality, all of that. And I don't know how mine came down, honestly. It took kind of like a wrecking ball for me, but I loved that book and how I believe her wall will come down. I think that's what,
Yes, I do too.
but
I do.
someone will come by who will be able to throw something over. And maybe we did
Yeah.
throw something over yesterday. Maybe we threw something over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think you did. I think you
yeah,
did.
but hopefully that'll come down one day and she'll have a different story, which would be great because then it'll be so much more believable and doable. But we can hide behind spirituality, we can hide behind self-righteousness, all the things. And I guess I'm just saying this to like kind of caution people, like, what's the wall that you put up around you? Because that feels like a good wall. That feels like a safe wall. That feels like a godly wall, right?
It's
hmm
yes, it does. Yes, it does. But it's very deceiving. Very deceiving.
I don't think so much for those on the outside looking in, but for
No,
the
no,
ones
no.
inside it, yes.
That's what I'm talking. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm
But
talking about.
although, there were the admirers of her wall yesterday, and I'm like, oh gosh, no. And because it wasn't like my group, my membership, or a private client, I didn't push, which in my private sessions, I might push a little bit. You know what?
Right,
Why is it, why are you pushing back? What keeps you from wanting to take care
right,
of the younger you?
right.
Because
What?
I wrote that story about my mother some years back and about how God did a lot of healing in my heart towards her and all that, and I had forgiven her and all that kind of stuff. But then a few years ago, God just kind of pointed out, yes, the adult you did forgive, but the younger you still needs to.
Mm, mm,
And I'm like, wow, yeah, that's true. Because in saying, okay, well, we're just moving past that, I dismiss the younger me who's had the wounds, and I'm not tending her. And so the wholeness that comes from that integration was lost. But
right.
he did get through to me, so I believe he will to her as well.
Yeah, he did me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
If
my
anybody can
bricks
get
were
through your
different.
fort, if anybody can get through Judy's fortress, it's
It's
possible.
really true. I mean,
And
I'm
me too.
stubborn. I'm hard. It's
Uh,
really true. When I set my mind on something,
yeah, yeah.
took a long time.
Tenacious.
Yes, took
Hmm.
a long time, but
Yeah. It's so
I don't know
freeing though,
how.
isn't
I
it?
do not know how in the world I found that book. I don't know how it
No, but
crossed
it's
my
a great
path.
book. It's a really
Well,
great.
that was the beginning of the healing. I don't
Hmm.
know. I'll
Wow.
look and see if I've got a date in it or something like
Hmm.
that, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
It's wow.
Hmm.
It's a game changer if you let it be.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of people I drive around, doing Lyft part-time. A lot of people that are in recovery homes, or group homes, people that are in recovery. And I had a lady telling me her story the other day, and I was trying to get with her because you have to be real careful about giving out your personal
I
information
know.
or
Oh
getting
yeah.
and all that. Her, she
Yes.
started downloading her story to me like it's so. She's like, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot. So, a victim of domestic violence, to the point where he was nailing boards across the door, nailing her into the apartment so she couldn't escape, beating her on the head with a hammer, just horrible abuse. And she's telling me this while I'm driving. I'm like, oh my God, And I'm like,
Really?
I get to
Really?
when I get to where we're dropping her off, I'm like, just hold on for a second. I said, you've just dumped all this. And I'm like, I'm like physically disrupted here. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
feeling all of this in my body. I said, I want to hear more of your story. So I gave her my email. I said, if you want to contact me. I'll leave it all in your hands. And she did. So I'm hoping I can get with her maybe even this weekend to hear more of her story and maybe come alongside of her, get her involved in a women's community group here.
Mm, mm,
But wow, people, it's this kind of stuff you see in the jail all the time. It's out here running around here too.
yeah.
I think this
Those are.
this town has a lot. I Either I'm just running into it more, or this town is saturated with a lot of ministry missions recovery type work, drug addiction, spousal abuse, domestic violence, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of poverty here. There's a lot of homelessness here. It's like there's a lot of industry built around that.
Mm,
Yeah. It's like I think that's where a lot of income comes in this city, is through helping people like that.
mm,
And I'm
mm.
glad there's services for them, you know, but it's
Yeah. I
it's
hope
well,
they're sincere, but even if they aren't, needs are being met.
the needs
So,
are being met, right, right, right. So like one lady, she said, I've been sober for 6 years, and so I always commend them and, encourage them to stay true. She's trying to repair, but a lot of them are, they're trying to turn their life around. hmm So it's good to see. It's good to rub shoulders with that. And yeah, it's heavy stuff though, right? Yeah,
Yes,
very heavy.
yes, yes. If I didn't see a victory
Mhm.
every once in a while,
Right, right,
I'd cave, I think.
right. Yeah, because understanding addiction and dopamine hits. I mean, we're just as people are just as addicted to their cell phones. And I mean, I know I struggle with just food, just managing that, because like Thanksgiving, I had a lot of stuff I don't normally eat, sweets and treats stuff, and it's like now I'm craving it because of all the
Mm,
dopamine hits I was getting, and my body's
mm,
screaming for more.
right,
I'm like, it's always a
right,
battle. So
right.
drugs, that takes it to a whole other level,
It does.
right? Mm. But God, He is able to intercept all of that, right? And interject himself there and bring healing.
Absolutely.
Hmm
I see it. I get to see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now there are others, that are out and about, but I every once in a while I get to see a life just totally, totally transformed.
I know it.
It's the most beautiful thing in the
Have you heard
world.
any more about that girl who came in and turned herself in and all that? And then God told her to go back to Joe. The pastor told
She,
her to go back.
yeah, yeah. She lost her mother about 2 or 3. She lost her mother within this year. I
Mhm.
can't remember when. Knocked her flat. See, she had been separated from her mother, and then the last
Mhm.
time she came out of
Mhm.
jail, she went to the Mobile area where her
Mhm.
mother was.
Right.
Her mother's life had been changed, and her mother was now married to a guy on staff at a church.
Mhm.
And so when I've used her name before, and she wouldn't mind. When Elena went down to her mom, uh, then she reconnected with her mother, and her mother was a believer now, and it's
Mhm.
just whoa,
Mhm.
whoa. And they went to church together. Then her mother
Mhm.
got back into drugs for a short
Oh,
term. Yes, it,
you.
it just killed her, killed Elena.
Mm.
But her mom, yeah, was able to get. I think
Mm.
she had had some kind of surgery or something. They gave her pain medicine, and that started it.
Yeah.
And but then she came out of it. But then she had to have open heart surgery and
Mm.
complications from that.
Mm.
And she died, and it was a devastating thing. And she couldn't shake the grief. So I think this is so incredibly cool. The rehab where she had that people from that church are involved in
Mhm.
invited her to come to the rehab, and they would work with her on grief recovery.
Hmm.
And they did it. She was there for several months,
Hmm.
and now she's back out and she's doing great.
Oh, good.
I'm just so thankful that she didn't fall back into
Mhm. Mhm.
addiction. And rather, her pastor came to her and said,
Mhm.
this grief thing is going to take you under. Let's work it. Let's get a plan.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm so impressed that that recovery group turned it into a recovery for her for
Mhm.
grief.
That's great.
So
Wow.
she's still flying high, burning bright, snatching people
Mhm.
out of the fire. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's doing good. She's doing good.
Mm. That's great. I love her story, and it's in one of these recordings,
It's
right?
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's one that you just go,
Mhm.
What? What?
Yeah.
I did see a girl came in recently within the last couple of months who really has my heart. Really, really. And I've kept sent Bible studies to her when she got out of prison. And she showed back up in Shelby County Jail.
Mm,
And I barely recognized her. She was so
mm,
thin.
mm,
And
mm,
for some reason, she thought I was going to be mad at her for being in jail. She knows me better than that, but the guilt of, and everything. She is, first of all, she's very thin,
mm,
and she bent over when I walked in and I saw her. I called her name with a question mark, and she went, "Yeah," but she bent over like
mm,
an old woman
mm,
and was shaken. And
mm.
uh, so she ended up sitting close to me, and the other ones were saying, "Man, she's gonna be mad at you. Miss Judy's gonna be mad at you." And I said, "I am not mad at you.
Right.
I'm just thankful to see you and know you're still alive." Because I pray for her all the time.
Mm,
And I said, I've been praying that you're okay and that you're still alive. And
mm,
and I saw her one more time. I
mm,
went to take a Bible to her on a Saturday.
mm,
She looked a little better there.
mm,
It was horrible. Bent, she looked like an old woman, and she was
mm.
shaking and looking at like,
Oh, that's so
you
disturbing.
yeah.
Yes. Mm,
Now, like I said, the second time I saw her, she
a little bit better. Is she still there?
sat up. No, she was
Mm,
gone quickly,
mm,
and I've lost her again.
mm. Gee,
But God hadn't.
yeah. No, he
God
hasn't. He
hadn't.
goes after the lost sheep.
He does. And she was doing, she was doing well for a while.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to insert before we wrap this up?
I'm exhausted. But that Jeremiah thing,
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
that when I see, I read it just not
Why
too
don't you
long
just read
ago.
it one more time before we, somebody else might be needing to hear it. Me too.
uh and see, the thing is, I read it not too long ago,
Hmm.
uh on November the 6th. See, I read it that not too long ago,
Right.
and then boom, this morning it was in another
No,
devotion. And this morning, I don't know, it just like,
came
gee,
back.
hit me right between the eyes. You know,
Mm,
it was an encouragement and assurance.
mhm.
You know, come on,
Right.
let's get this right here. Let me get this
It's
right.
another version of you're doing a great work and you can't come down.
And the Lord gave me this message. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nation.
Mm,
Oh, sovereign God, I said, I can't speak for you. I'm too young. And the Lord replied, don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you.
mm,
And don't be afraid of the people even if they're giants in the land.
Mm,
For I will be with you and will protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken. And then the Lord reached out and touched my mouth and said, Look, I have put my words in your
mm.
mouth. Today I appoint you to stand up against nations and kingdoms.
Wow. So perfect. Perfect way to end. So we'll be back. We'll be back after the new year, right? So this will be our last recording of the year. So let's say goodbye to everybody. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you around the corner. Yeah.
Around the corner.
All right. All right. I'm going to stop recording.